it has me on cloud 9 every time I move.
Man, I tell you what, things have been hectic. I decided I'd do all this work, and I got all this work, and I didn't want to hire anybody to help me, because if you listen to the podcast or if you watch any of my other videos, I talk about this plan I have. And I really needed to, put my nose to the grindstone and make some money and try to get where I can go and do what I want to do. And that has really hampered me getting out for the last couple months and kept me from making content like I like to do. So I've been working 6 days a week. Well, last weekend I went to it started out being kind of a little lion hunter's rendezvous, and it still is, but for the most part it's just a place where some really good people get together, and we eat good and we have a good time. We tell each other stories, and we've been doing that once a year, and I think it's been going on for 10 years or so. I really enjoy doing it. It's probably one of the only social things I do all year. But this morning I got up and I know I've been getting the dogs out just very little. Probably the last 2 weeks is the least I've gotten the dogs out ever. I mean, I always try to get them out, but prior to that, I've been going out on the buggy. Matter of fact, I got a little female lion that's on the other side of the river, and I bet she don't weigh 70 pounds, and I've got the dogs on her a few times, so I'll put that footage right in here. Most of it's filmed on my cell phone, because I just, I go out in the buggy. I don't think much about creating content. I don't know. I'll put that in right here, starting right now. Bam! I wasn't gonna film today. I was just roding the dogs down the river right there. Little bird told me, or a friend of mine had been trailing a lion back over the top. He thought he was going the wrong way, but I knew the lion had to come down to the river. So last night I brought some other dogs down and rode it down the river. We didn't get a bark or nothing. This morning they started trailing way down over there, trailed down the river, up and over and around, and come up through this little canyon. Kind of had a lose right here. They kept wanting to go out that way, but you can see Sissy's taking it out right there. Not on a mule, and I'm wearing my pretty blue coat. But we're trailing a lion. That's what matters. They trailed up and over here, and then they came out, and they're going that way. It's been a tough climb on an old fat man. Dadgum, I was hoping she'd be bedded down right in here. If I was on my mule, I would have circled around and got up on top and been above them, just waited. The terrorists went up the canyon there and got it. Sissy's kind of hanging right here. She's really not honoring them, but sorry guys, I'm not used to filming with this iPhone. What I was planning on doing was just exercising the dogs and looking for the lion track. I mean, but oh, there they go. If I knew I'd been filming, I probably would have brought a mule. Although I'm not sure in this country. Yeah, I would have figured out a way to get a mule through here. Lori's up there with them now. Sissy's going to him now. Al kind of got in trouble earlier this morning for coming back to me. We were trailing, the other dogs were trailing. For some reason, he just decided to quit and come back to me. And I got a little mad at him. I scolded him just a little bit, just, because he wanted me to pet him. And I started ignoring him, and I started walking the track, walking with these dogs, and he got the idea. Now he's leading the way. I need Sissy to bark right down there. That's what I needed. It finally just petered out up there. The dogs petered out. They're all tired. Never found a track. Could have been going backwards. You never know, I guess. Seemed like it got better the further we went until it got bad. Does that make sense? So there's my buggy. Way down there on the road, little road. I was almost to the top up there. There she is. Whatever it is, we're not far behind this one. And Sissy's the one who started it. We will see. I keep wanting to go that way. Al got it up there. Exact same place I was 2 weeks ago. Same canyon, almost the same track. This time it is a little hotter than it was last time. Oh well, they're going, so I'll let them go and I'll go with them. Let's see what happens. Since I had 2 dogs that went that way, and then I got 3 dogs that went around that way, I'll just go straight up the middle. It's a good climb, but I can do it. I must have petered out over there. Al and Timmy are coming back. Sissy and them are kind of going the way I want to go. It's downhill. Going back down towards the river. But I see way over there on the river, there's some yahoos coming across the river with a dog. And I call them yahoos. They might not be yahoos. They might just be just people. But they're coming back. No, they're just staying in the middle of the river bottom. They got a couple dogs with them. They're probably just out having a walk, exercising their dogs. Almost like what I'm doing. I made an executive decision. Al and Timmy went back up there, and Timmy was trailing fairly decent, but not as good as Sissy and Uno are down there in that rough country. Or I say rough country. Down there in that, what was that? I don't know. See, is that Al over there? Oh, here comes Al out of those bluffs. I don't know. But anyway, Just kind of think that these guys, that Timmy and them were on the back side of it, because we trailed up that canyon, and then Sissy and them come back across, and those dogs kind of had to go around. I don't know. I could be wrong as can be. That was weird, though. I don't think Al could have knocked that off. I guess he could have knocked that off from way up high. I sure don't see anything. Oh well, I gotta get Timmy back over here. Come on, Timmy boy, let's go! It died right down here. It's hot. I mean, I don't know. It's hot. 75, 70. Sissy's shading up. Uno is still looking. Where'd you go, Uno? Al's around here still looking. Timmy's kind of gave out. I had to call Timmy back. He was going the other way. He might have been right. I don't know. I don't know. Can't find a track. Couldn't tell if I'm going right or wrong. Going up one canyon, coming back down the other canyon. They're picking it up a little bit right there again. Look at that. That's what's fascinating about just trailing these things. It's just like you think a cat would do. She came down through there and walked the edge. Walked the very edge of this canyon and then dropped down, cut across through here. And this is where they had a hard time trailing her. But she came up on this little ridge here. And when she climbed up on this ridge, we can trail her. Isn't that something? Her, him, it, them. I doubt it's a them. But it could be. It could be right down here in the river somewhere. No fence or nothing, just a rock with wire wrapped around it right here. How did it get here and for what purpose? Strange things you find out here. Right up there. Same spot as always, except usually I'm up there, but lined up the same as I am with that canyon. I mean, what was it? 2 times, 3 times we trailed right up that canyon. And then right back there, I seen a whole bunch of javelina and deer tracks. A few barks, a little bit of trailing, not much. Sissy's really got excited. She's 12 years old. She don't get excited about a whole lot. Exact same canyon as 3 times before. And they're balling. I mean, they're moving it up through here. Sissy's the one who started it. Seems fresh to me. They're not just picking at it. They're moving it. Still fairly cool. So I don't know. I said I wouldn't let them do this because of the time of year, but dadgummit, I just can't help it. Just gotta go. So here we go. See Sissy and P's right below her. Jazz is up higher. Iris is up there too, but oh, she's right here looking at me. buggy's right down there. Slowing down on that open slope right there. They're still trailing, but same place. Same place I've been to 3 times now. Maybe this is just the 3rd time. I can't remember. Sometimes it's in the bottom of the canyon, but it's always right up into these little bluffs. I bet that sucker's hidden up in there somewhere. I bet. Probably making a living. There's a lot of game right here, a lot of javelina, a lot of a lot of deer. She's got water right down there on the river. Got everything you need. And I think that's what happens, is she probably maybe kills a javelina or something somewhere and then goes down and gets a drink of water and then walks back up into these bluffs and beds down. And I heard a funny bark earlier, like a yep. I hope none of them got bit by a snake, because the snakes are out right now. I got to be careful. Buzzards circling around all in here. So there's probably a kill around here somewhere. I seen the buzzards earlier down below, so maybe the dogs jumped it off a kill. Or didn't jump it off a kill, but maybe they ran into a kill. Because they kind of stalled there in the bottom of that canyon for a while I was trying to hike my fat butt up that mountain. I don't know. I guess we could have been backwards on it. I don't know. Now they went up there and trailed up in those rocks, and now they're trailing back out of here. I'll watch them for a little while, but it's getting hot already. So we got a little bit of a cool breeze, but that won't last long. That'll turn into a hot breeze here in a little while. Best I can figure, if we're not on the wrong end of it, that lion came up, walked up into those bluffs right there, messed around in there, and then came back down and is going back down. If we're on the wrong end of it, she came up through there, went into those bluffs, and came down over there. I do not know. But a lot easier on a fat old man to go downhill than it is to go uphill. So I'm kind of glad they turned around and came back down. So maybe we'll see something down in there. I don't know. They're trailing. As long as they're trailing, I can go with them. It's not like they're chasing a bear over the top of the mountain. We're just cold trailing a lion. Iris is over there with them. She's just a young dog. She really hasn't started cold trailing yet. This is another little training tip I believe is really important. You know, some houndsmen would probably say I overhandle my dogs, but I don't think to hunt the way I hunt, free casting, going through the country, riding through all kinds of game, I don't think you can, I don't believe overhandling. Look at me, Mr. Grizzly, Montague Stevens. I mean, his dogs were remarkable. But I think with these young dogs, you put a good handle on them, they're always looking for you for support. Instead of being real independent and going out and doing their own thing, they're going to keep looking at you, especially if you holler at them for being quiet in the box or shutting up in the kennels or whatever. They're real hesitant, you know, so it's really important, I think, that you go with your dogs. And then once, you know, it's got to click that you're going with those dogs that are barking and trailing. That young dog keeps looking back at me thinking, is it okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? And they see me going with them. They're not stupid. It's got to click. So I think that's kind of an important thing if you hunt the way I do. Now everybody, a lot of people, you know, the snow hunters and everything, they kind of do things different. turn their dogs loose on a track, and the dogs have to run out on that track and do their own thing, you know, but the dogs are not typically, it's just from the out of the box onto the track, which is okay. I mean, that's if that's what, you know, ruffles their panties or whatever, then that's fine. But I think for me to hunt the way I do, I have to put a good handle on the dogs, and then when I get on a cold track, I have to do my best to try to stay with them so the young dogs see that it's okay and they start getting the idea of what we're out here to do. The thing that I've had a real hard time doing out here in this desert is putting an end to these tracks. And I think that's the missing component to finish a lot of these hounds out, is walking out a cold track, staying with them, getting to a jump and getting one caught. I think, you know, man, you talk about an expensive lion hound. You have one that handles, gets in the box, kennels up, comes when's called. You can holler and get off game, or get it off of a what you think might be a backwards lion track, turn it around, and then him cold trail a day old track, jump, tree. How can you even price a dog like that? So many miles and so much, and a lot of heartache involved in it. A lot of trash races. Look at Sissy. Fell like 4 times trying to get up that nasty steep. That rock just rolls out from under you. They're still trailing. I think that lion comes up out of the river and walks this lip, hunting all these little ravines. I think that's what she's doing. She's just in here hunting. I think I can go right up through there. The dogs went down and up that canyon, and they're still going up that canyon. And they'll bluff up in there. Ha, fat man's hiking rules. Try not to lose elevation if you can help it. There's nothing worse than having to go way down and then have to climb way back up. And I've already committed to this track, so I don't have to, I'm not going to go down there and start searching for a track to make sure we're on the right end of it. I committed, dogs are trailing. Seems like the track's getting better and better. So I can stay up high and watch the dogs. I don't interfere with them that way, and I can keep track of what they're going, where they're going, what they're doing, where they're going. That sound okay? It's pretty steep. I've only fallen down about 8 times, I guess. Look at that. I wish I could fly. I got a pretty early start this morning, but time I hit that track, it was already, you know, 8:30, and then we trail up here to these same bluffs we always trail up into. I don't know what time it is now. Let me check. Well, it's 9:30, so it was probably, it must have been 7:30 or 8 when I hit that track. And these are my old fat females. I mean, they're not in the best of shape. Sissy's 12 years old. P is 9, and she's pregnant, and she's had a few litters of puppies. And Jazz is 12 also. And I got Iris, and Iris is down there somewhere. She don't know what's going on, but I know this is the typical of what happens. And a lot of times I think we're a lot closer to that lion than we realize. She's probably up here, and I say she, I don't know that it's a she, but she's probably bedded up here in these bluffs somewhere, and maybe, you know, made a couple high jumps to get over some bluffs. Or they say that right before they bed down, they start sneaking. So she went to sneaking, she's not leaving much scent. You got the heat of the day, you got the older, you know, the track's a little bit older, and you got tired hounds. There's nothing easy about this deal, especially in this country. That was a different bark. When I was with a real famous lion hunter, I say famous, I mean he's famous in this area. We got into that area, and just like this, and the dogs weren't doing nothing. They were just had a couple dogs just like this, just barely barking here and there. And I wanted to quit. I thought we should move the dogs and go somewhere else. And he said, no, let's just sit here and wait. And we just sat there. We were down low, probably about 200 yards from the dogs, but we could watch them and we could hear them real well. And then I felt like 2 hours, but it's probably only about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. All of a sudden, bah, there was a lion on a rock. And I learned something. I mean, as long as those dogs are out there and they're smelling and they're looking, you got to give them some time. You got to be patient. And like right now, but I do have a couple dogs that just flat quit. Because I mean, P is so fat, and she's pregnant. She'll have a litter of pups here in about 30 days. And from the looks of her, she might have 100 of them. And the other dogs are old, but Sissy's still down there working, and Iris is down there with her. Jazz is down there. Jazz came up here with P and then went back down in there. And you can hear Sissy. She's still opening up and barking down there, so. As long as they can smell it, they got a chance, I guess. So, and I'm liable to look up here. They're liable to bump it, and I'm liable to look up here and see that lion sneaking out of here. I'm gonna have to call him out. So I mean, in the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes time it takes me to get down to the bottom, it's gonna get really, really hot. So I got to get them down there to water so they don't overheat on me. They did good trailing up into here. I was just kind of hoping that lion would be in here. But I don't know if, you know, she could be right on the other side of that hill. Yeah, there's Sissy, she won't quit. She could be right on the other side of the hill, just, you know, laid up. Or she could have been bedded down in here, and then the dogs, you know, she heard the dogs coming and she moved out. I don't really know what these lions in here do, but they do something. Or the conditions. JR used to never hunt he'd never hunt this mountain. He told me that, he said it's a good place to get a dog killed. Now, I don't know why. I don't think the bluffs are that big. I mean, you hunt lions in bluffs. That's where lions live. But he sure didn't like to hunt this mountain. And maybe one of the reasons is because it's not real good to ride. You know, you get up in these little canyons, you can't hardly ride a mule around. You got to walk. And JR was about 3/4 crippled. So, I don't know. I'm gonna call Sissy out of here, and we're gonna head back down to the buggy. It's gonna be a long, slipping, sliding, falling. I hate going downhill too. I fall. Anyway, come on, Sissy girl, good girl, let's go. There's that lion right there. See the boom, 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 the track? Right there again. 3 lobes and back and the footprint. There was a whole bunch of javelina and then some little baby javelinas up there just standing in the road. I got a kick out of the dogs. They all just came back to me. It's what they're supposed to do.
I'm for all of it, because we kind of all got to stick together. But the greatest thing about our ministry,
Come Rex. What is your lifelong ambition? What is your long-term goal? Whatever it might be, whether it's becoming a solo backcountry hunter, or a doctor, or a musician, just know that all rewards have to be earned the hard way. There are no shortcuts to success in the mountains and in life. Those who work the hardest are successful, period. Get to work. Train hard.
Haha, they struck that lion. I think they got him. No? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they got him. Look at that. Good boy, Booger. Good boy. Good dogs. Good dogs. Good dogs.